Oh, Paris in the evening. Let's celebrate by drinking some beautiful sparkling water. I'm trying this new one called Vichy Celestine. I haven't tried it yet. The sun is setting and Notre Dame is looking beautiful as ever. Celestine. Wow. That one has an interesting taste to it. It tastes like a cave, like an underground lake where the phantom resides. There's a very kind of mineral, rocky taste to it. Interesting. I like trying waters from different areas around the world. To me, this is how I get crunk at night. Oh yeah. I've been trying every water. You see me at night carrying bottles. I have like 3 more bottles in my backpack. I'm a bit of an addict. Yeah, I really like my water. So we have people down here. Thomas says, is the water a compromise? What do you mean? And NZ says, Vichy gives you diarrhea. Oh my God, what? Go easy on it. Isn't this just water? Does it have other ingredients? Let's see. I don't see any other ingredients here. I think it's maybe just heavy on the minerals. Yeah, that's why. It tastes very like salty. Hey, photos from New York. Nice to see you here. George, welcome. There we go, Notre Dame at night or in the evening. It takes a while for the sun to set. But here, this Notre Dame is located on Ile de la Cite, which is a actual island within the Seine. So right now we are in the middle of the Seine River, technically, because this is a island. And there's also another island right next to it, Ile de la Saint-Louis.
Ouais, exactement, ouais.
And right down there, Shakespeare and Company, which we walked through earlier. And hello, Clemens from Germany. Welcome, guten Tag. Kenya, nice to see you here. Welcome. I got bitten by a mosquito. Watch out, mosquitoes come out here in the Seine. The Seine doesn't run so fast, so they kind of linger around. So if you have a picnic, don't do it at the Seine at night. Though some people might do it. Do it during the daytime. Mandy says it's still so bright out. Interesting. Yeah, it is bright out. Huh, I hear a lot of rats. There's a lot of rats down there. Someone's playing. What song is this? Da, 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 da. Wow. Da, 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 da. Is that Coldplay? In the world, la 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 la. Oh, I love that song. What song is that? I'm gonna be thinking about that song. That's Coldplay, I think. Viva la vida, says Miss Fancy. Is that the name? Viva la vida? Edward says, any info on when Notre Dame will be complete? I did not research Notre Dame before coming here, but there is info on the walls. So let's see if we can discern and translate French into English by looking at the walls. They have all the information we need. Cue the music by Alan Menken. And who was the co-writer of The Hunchback of Notre Dame? Let me know. The Disney version that blew people away. Everyone knows that is one of the best Disney movies ever made in the existence of humankind. Miss Fancy says, was it Tim Rice? No, Tim Rice often collaborated with Andrew Lloyd Webber. So he did Phantom of the Opera and a few others. This water is so salty. French people, let me know what's up with this water. Is this some medical water? In Europe, there's waters that are medicinal. Medicinal meaning they're like super high in mineral content. And this one is, ooh. It's like a salty bomb in my mouth. The 10 p.m. daylight freaks me out, says Susie. Well, Susie, wait until one day I show you the Lapland in Finland in July. It'll be sun at 1 a.m. So. So W Gator saying the work will be completed in 2024. Yeah, and here we have a comic strip about the work being done. I wish I knew French, otherwise I would read it to you. Yeah, you can say it. I wish I could read it to you. But we can also make our own dialogue. Mr. Putler says it's good when you have a hangover. Ah, interesting. Ron says, are you sure it's water? It's not vodka, I can assure you that. Tamara says it's from salt flats. NZ says, yes, it's medicinal. Oh, interesting. Okay, I'm drinking some medicinal water. Ron says, I would love to see you feature Greenland. Ooh, yeah. That would be cool. Edward says, knowing Spanish, you could probably read a lot of the comic strip. Yes, I can discern what is being said, yeah. Peter says, the Lapland is in Sweden too. Oh yeah, you're right. Lapland covers those two countries. Susan says, signal's not great. Oh no. You know, I'm not getting any warnings on my end about the cell phone reception. But let me know, how's the cell phone reception? I could try live streaming from 720p in general. Let me know. Maybe the water has a high magnesium content. I think that's the case, yeah. I think it is. Ooh, it has bicarbonates of 2,899. Sounds high. So we're gonna take our sweet time looking at Notre Dame and the beautiful architecture all around us. Melody says it's Alan Menken and Stephen Schwartz. Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, this is about. Here, look, here.
NZ, thank you so much for translating.
That's what it looks like.
So NZ says that Vici.
Yeah, the whole middle burned out.
Rose window, yeah, I'll zoom up in a bit. Vici, which I'm drinking right now, is natural mineral water from the springs of Vici containing sodium, bicarbonate, other alkaline salts used in the digestive treatment of gout. I laugh because luckily I don't have gout and other things. Thank you so much, Enzi. I appreciate that. But the kings that ruled during the time of Notre Dame's greatness, some of them did suffer from gout, which is kind of a sucky illness. They called gout the illness of kings, I think it was the nickname, because it affected a lot of the royalty. And people thought that gout came from eating too much meat, which certainly if you were royal or noble, you had a lot of access to. Girl in the Curl says, well, now you're covered. Indeed I am. Now I'm covered. Diane says, too much rich food equals gout. Indeed. Leslie says, sounds like you're drinking baking soda and water. Yeah. Basically. Let's zoom in now. Macrina says, now you won't get leg cramps with all that magnesium. Luckily I don't. I get sometimes calf cramps, but that's good. Kenya says, I would love to live over here. Yeah, Paris is a good city to live in, I think. Hey, Ron, nice to see you here. Says, Laureen was reading the chat from the last live. Almost had a pillow fight. I'm not sure what you're referring to. George says the water might be IV fluid. I think it basically is. It's beautiful, says Frank. Oh, yes. This is a gorgeous cathedral. And I love how it's being restored lovingly outside. You know, of course, a devastating fire happened here in 2019. The cathedral before had a little bit more of a grayish look to it because, of course, the stone is very old, dating back, was it to 1100s, 1200s? And they have restored it very nicely. Joe says they have beautiful skies. They do, yeah. Beautiful skies here. Eugene says, what time is it in France right now? It's about 10 p.m. 10:30 p.m. 10:32 p.m. Okay, I'm gonna save the rest for this for later. But now I have another water. I really like this one. This one was recommended by a fellow viewer from the south of France. His name is Nobu. He also is a YouTuber, does walking videos in the south of France. And he recommended me to try Mount Rocus. And I'm gonna try it out. Wendy says, where's your ring? Wendy, I got divorced. No, I'm joking, I just didn't wear it today. It's a full moon. No, almost a full moon. Mont Rocus. This one's a still water. And does it say the region? It always says the region. It comes from Mount Rocus. That's where it comes from. Natural du Haut Languedoc Paris. Leslie says, do you ever get tired? No. I'm a humanoid android sent from the future in order to bring peace to the world. Hence, I never get tired. But I do drink a lot of water. Now this one's a pleasant one. Oh my god. Oh. This one, it tastes like going deep into the forests of France, finding this gorgeous waterfall with pristine blue water trickling down. On a gorgeous clear day, the birds are singing, and you go to the waterfall, cup your hand. Ah, and you take a sip. I'm not sure if it's me or if it's the water talking. Maybe I've been having too much water. Is the water better from NYC? NYC has kind of shitty options. We have Poland Spring is probably the most available one. I kind of get bored of Poland Spring. And then, of course, we have Pierre. We have San Pellegrino for sparkling. There's Evian that you can buy sometimes. It's getting better. We have Mountain Spring. Mountain Spring is really good. Liquid Death is another good one. So actually, New York has quite a lot, but you just have to look. All right, let's continue walking around. Mandy also recommends Saratoga Spring. Yeah, that's another great water in New York. Actually, New York does have plenty of them. It's just if you go to like a bodega, sometimes you might not see all of them. Susie says we had tap water. Scotland and just in the UK, it is a treasure trove of amazing water. NZ, you know your water things. Thank you so much. NZ says Malrocos supports the maternal nutrition and recommendations of the World Health Organization. Interesting. Now I'm drinking maternal milk. Maternal milk water. That's funny. Let's continue. Let me show you this, and then we'll walk around Notre Dame as much as we can. Marcy says, did you climb to see the gargoyles back in 2013? When I came in 2019, it was after the fire, so I didn't get to see it. So I had the chance to at least once see the gargoyles up close. Peter says, in the Lapland, you can drink water directly from the river. What? Oh, maybe I need to make a journey up to the Lapland. Joe says, for the time at night, it still looks light out. Oh, yeah. All right, let's wiggle around Ile de la Cite. Yep, it's an island in the middle of basically the Roosevelt Island. Except Roosevelt Island does not have a gigantic cathedral that has been most important religious structure in world history for many centuries. But maybe we can build our own cathedral. Who votes for a cathedral to be built upon Roosevelt Island in New York City? One that will rival Notre Dame. Coron asks, how come the skies are still dark blue? So there's a little concept in geography called latitude. We are in a higher latitude than New York. So New York is about the same latitude as North Africa, as Morocco, as Egypt. Right here, we are a much higher latitude. We're at the same latitude as maybe Newfoundland in Canada. Quebec City, maybe. A little bit higher than that, actually. We're almost the same latitude as... where else? Yeah, so those areas north of Vancouver. So we're pretty high. And that's why it stays light out way later. The more north you are in the summer, the later the sun sets. So the sunrise is just about 40 minutes ago. The sun started the sun started to set about 40 minutes ago. So if you go even further up, if we go to the north of Scotland, then the sun will start setting at what, 11? Susie, Gary, let us know what time is the sun setting now in Edinburgh. And if we were to go to the Lapland, even later, the Lapland, basically you have the midnight sun, which means you'll see the sunset at 1 a.m., 12. 12, you still see the sun. Anthony says it's still light out in England. Oh, that's cool. So all restaurants here are going to be closed at this time. It's pretty much peak daytime area. If you want to eat a little bit later at night, go walk further north towards Leal area. In that place, you'll see a lot of places open. Or Murray District as well, pretty close. Peter says, I'm in northern Sweden. It's still light out here. Yep. The more south you are in the northern hemisphere, the earlier the sun is going to set. So in Puerto Rico, the sun sets by 7 p.m. year round. Same thing in Florida. Same thing in parts of Mexico. So Paris is a good place to take photos because blue hour is much longer than other parts of Europe, even Italy or New York. Susie says, I couldn't take so much sunlight. You know, it is a bit, it takes a little bit of adjustment. I find myself now going to sleep at 1, 2 a.m. And, yeah, because it's still light out. It feels weird to try to go to sleep at 10 p.m. because it's still the sun is setting at then. And I feel like, oh no, it's still time to hang out. Hence why I'm doing a live video now and not going to sleep. AP says, I remember the hunchback. I forgot his name. Quasimodo is his name, but the face rang a bell till he missed and he ended up in the courtyard. Oh no! Is that spoilers for Hunchback of Notre Dame? Hugo says, come to Portugal. Ooh, let me know. What's the best thing to see in Portugal? So here we see images of how they're fixing it. Mandy says, I would love to see this in person. Oh yeah, it's worth it. Inspire Life says, Fab Wander. Oh, Inspire Life, nice to see you here. Kudan says, it's sun says at 8:27 p.m. where you're at. Do let us know where you're at, Kudan. For most of Middle East, yeah, it's gonna be very early. Well, actually, it's not gonna be that early. New York is about the same latitude as the Middle East. Nobu, nice to see you here. Welcome. Joe says, in honor of Ariel, make French bread pizza later. Oh, yeah. Even though that doesn't exist here. Oh, yeah, that sounds good. I know what you're talking about, Joe. Very typical American pizza that is sold at the supermarket. I used to like it as a little kid as well. Baby Channel says, come to the south of France. Oh, yeah. Maybe. Stay tuned. Any of the sites inspire you, says Inspire Life. Here, Notre Dame is gorgeous. The Pantheon is amazing. A lot of places have inspired me, but just walking around in general, just walking around is gorgeous. I think just the general architecture of the city, made by George Eugene Haussmann, that we see right over here, is just amazing. So Nelbu, since you're tuning in, thank you again so much for the recommendation of Mont Rucus. Thank you so much. I will stop at nothing until I get sponsored by a water company. Are we reaching the end of Ile de la Cite? I think we are, yeah. All right, let me show you the backside of Notre Dame. Right here. There we go. Nibu says, how do you like it? You can check out my review about 10 minutes ago, but I love it. In short, it's a heavenly experience. Adam says, can you believe Notre Dame is almost... oops, sorry, dropped my water. Can you believe Notre Dame is almost done? Yeah, you know, that's awesome to hear. I'm not sure what's the projected finish date. Do let us know. Susie says, we can give you a gallon of tap water. Thank you, Susie, for the offer. I appreciate that. Ron says he's going to be European now. Extra emphasis on the peon. Do you think Paris is a good city to walk, says Hugo? Hugo asking that is akin to saying, is it okay to breathe air? In short, yes, Paris is, I would say, the best city to walk. It would be number one, in my opinion, in terms of cities to walk. The city's not that big. The city is only what the size of Brooklyn / the Bronx. So that's one borough. Paris is about the size of one borough of New York. But within the city limits, there's so much gorgeous architecture, so many gorgeous streets, cafes everywhere, life, people hanging out and about. It is incomparable, really. There's not that many cities like it. Now, of course, New York, Manhattan is gorgeous, and Brooklyn as well is gorgeous. London is gorgeous, Rome is gorgeous, but Paris has a certain magic to it when it comes to strolling. So we can't really walk this way because it's blocked. Doreen says half of the people. So Paris has a population of higher than 2 million. It's still lower than Brooklyn's 2.8 million. So Brooklyn's a more dense. By the same area, it's more dense than Paris. But the thing is with Brooklyn is there's still areas where it's kind of unpleasant to walk through. So Brooklyn in general is awesome. And it's an awesome place to walk. But I think Paris is better. Baby Channel says Paris has 20 million people, maybe in the metropolitan area, but not in the city proper. That's 2 million. Yes, I am. Yeah. Hey.
What are you streaming on?
On YouTube.
YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you can find me at Urbanist.
Urbanist.
Yeah.
Urbanist. We love
Have a-
Urbanist.
Thank you.
Urbanist.
I appreciate it. Have a good day.
Subscribe now. Press the button below.
Awesome. There we go. Someone's doing that by PR. So let's wiggle around more of Ile de la Cite. And then we'll finish off at Ile de la Saint Louis, which is the other island at the Seine. Mudad says we love Urbanist. Gorgeous Night says Isabel. Oh yes. John says Brooklyn's like Paris in Grand Army Plaza and Eastern Parkway. Yeah. It got close. Got close to being like Paris. I wish Brooklyn will follow through that urban planning. Natalie says, are you behind the cathedral? Yeah, we can't see too much behind the cathedral. Its backside is pretty hidden. Baby Channel says that Paris is actually, the metropolitan area is more like 10 million, yeah. Natalie says, yeah, sure, to get my bearing. Yes. So right behind us right now is Notre Dame, right behind these buildings. That way is La Marais, the Louvre, and this way is Ile de Saint Louis. And that's the Seine River down here. Wow, just magical. AEP says, uh-oh, someone ate bad duck and fondue by the ambulance that was passing by. So we're gonna basically, if I continue walking this way, you know, let's go to Ile Saint Louis. It's a little bit more vibrant at night. Ile de la Cite, half of it is pretty much closed because it's governmental buildings. And we can't see too much at night because it's pretty much dark at this time. But let's go to Ile de Saint Louis. Is there still a burnt smell in Notre Dame? Something is burning, but I don't think it's Notre Dame. It's not Notre Dame. A lot of Parisian smoke, so that you kind of get a faint smell of cigarette smoke just in general in the city. And then the river has a certain scent to it. It's a bit funky. It's just a bit funky. Not negative. It's just kind of a hard to describe. Someone asked about marionette shows. I think we're in luck. Is this a marionette show? Kay says no smell of oregano. No, I have not smelled oregano, not even once in this entire trip. See, let's check out this guy. Oh, he's doing like some type. Oh, he's doing some political message. Because this is military and police. Talking about something against the police or military. See the craters of the moon. That's so cool. They set up a telescope directly at the moon. Ah. And one of the earliest silent films was Journey to the Moon. That was made by what was his name again? The first filmmaker here in France. Great movie. There's a great movie that takes place in Paris about that filmmaker and about the making of that movie, Journey to the Moon, or let me know the official name, where he goes, where a group of people shoot a rocket onto the moon and it crashes on the moon. And that movie is called Hugo, and it's directed by Martin Scorsese. And it's a movie that takes place in Paris, and it shows Paris beautifully in the early 1900s. However, all the actors are British, but it's a great movie. It's a great English version of Paris. Everyone, slam that like button right now. George Méliès, thank you so much, Isabel. Lumiere brothers Hyde were the innovators of the camera, the inventors of the film camera here in Europe. But George Méliès was the filmmaker. Let's get this way. I hear accordion. People have demanded accordion, and I give it to you. So if you want to get to the mood of Paris, the movies I recommend: Before Sunset, Hugo, and Amelie. What are your favorite Paris movies? Let us know. Quran says my favorite Paris movie is Ratatouille. Oh yeah, that's a good movie as well. Stefan says Midnight in Paris. Oh, Midnight in Paris is such a great film. Again, another amazing film. Highly recommend it. A lot of these movies are, of course, in English, so if you want to watch something that you don't require subtitles, those are great. Amelie is in French, but it's definitely 100% worth watching. Texas says, I feel like I'm in the Wes Anderson movie. And Cat Yellow Ranger says, Rush Hour 3. Oh, interesting, Rush Hour 3. Christine says, French Kiss with Meg Ryan. Ooh. Ooh la la. Christophe says, c'est un rendezvous. What does that mean? Is this a rendezvous? Skylark likes American in Paris.
Ah oui, non. De l'autre côté. Tu peux attends. Moi, attends-moi au bout.
So we have our actual accordion. Ah, this is why we have a line. Ron says, have I found Hawaiian pizza? No, I have not found Hawaiian pizza. I've not eaten pizza yet in Paris, though there does appear to be some good pizza places. So this place is very famous for its ice cream. So let's stop. Hugo says, where are you from? Your American English is a little bit unusual. Hugo, I speak the president's English. It's the official English. Everyone else is speaking English incorrectly. I'm a New Yorker, but I'm Puerto Rican, raised in New York. Raised in Queens, so I grew up around a lot of Indians and South Americans, and then later on Korean Americans as well. So I grew up in a very diverse area of New York. And Spanish is my first language. Beauty Channel says, Je suis de New York. Oh yes, Je suis de New York. Why is there cars here? It's so tiny. Such a tiny little island. We're literally in the like a mini little island in the middle of the Seine River, and there's vehicles. Macrina says, you speak American. Yes, I do. 100% American. So this place is super famous for its ice cream, and a lot of people here are dining, eating ice cream. So we can see the is that the Pantheon down there? Yeah, I think that's the Pantheon. Christine said 500 stars. Thank you so much, Christine. Michelle, thank you so much for the stars. Hello from Long Island. Nice to see you here from Long Island. Let me mute. Someone's playing music. Okay, we're getting close. So this is Berthelion. Susie says, just skip to the front of the queue. So I've seen a few French people do that. Let me know if that's common, or is that like a rare instant? I've seen like older French people kind of just like skip ahead. That in America, it's kind of looked down upon. People really give you a tough time if you do that. You can always do the chat and cut, but you have to know someone, or you have to pretend to know someone, and that is a technique that takes lots of years of mastering. So you have to approach someone online and say like, "Hey, I haven't seen you in such a long time," and that person will be confused because you probably don't know them. They probably don't know you. And you just chat with them. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, I got confused. And then you just stay in the line. It's the famous chat and cut. But that's a little bit hard if you don't know the language. Texas says the British respect the line. Yes, they do. Yeah. Macrina says, is it ice cream or gelato? It's a good question. It is, I don't know what the process of French ice cream is. If anyone knows, they're called glace. So we have the ones made with milk, glace, and sorbets, which are the ones without milk. So we have two of them. And Macrina says someone was photo bombing behind me. Yeah, the person left the line. But it's cool that this place has outdoor seating. That's nice. Yeah. Laura Lee says, I'm glad you're enjoying your trips in Paris. It's making us nostalgic. Oh, yes. I'm so glad you are. And Axel, thank you so much for tuning in. Grant says the man behind me did not look at me. Yeah, that's why he left. This is a very touristy area, so there's bound to be cameras here. And there's, even though China, a lot of people can't travel, there's still a lot of Chinese students here and Koreans as well. So I think especially in this area, more people have seen people use the camera and vlog and live stream. Let me know what flavor should I try here. Bertolino. Nobu recommends noisette. What is noisette? Was it hazelnut? So I'm not entirely sure what would the deal be here, but if you don't know whether you can sit down or not automatically, like you can in a brasserie or cafe, always ask. So you can just say un table pour un if you're just alone, un table pour deux if you're with two people, if you're you and someone else. And then they may ask you inside or in the terrace. So outside is terrace. I'm not sure what inside is. And then you'll sit down. But usually if there's no tablecloth, if there's no table set, if there's no forks and knives, you usually could just sit down outside. Gwen says new shirt looks fabulous. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, this is a shirt made in Japan by a Chinese company called Bronson with a very American name. So yeah, made in Japan shirt, which is really cool. And it's like a typical Japanese style pattern that's used on a lot of these shirts. Miguelona sent 50 stars. Thank you so much for 50 stars. Y nomás says, ¿vas a comer aquí? No voy a comer. Yo voy a coger un helado. So I'm not going to eat. I'm just going to grab ice cream. So not food. I'm gonna grab ice cream. B channel says you have to wait to drink. What do you mean? And Kay says I love the colors in that shirt. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. And tienes que escuchar la canción de Hombre Lobo en París de la Unión. You have to Adan, ¿cuál canción es esa? So Adan says you have to listen to the werewolf song, or the American in Paris song. American Werewolf in Paris song. Lo voy a chequear. No he visto esa película todavía. I haven't seen the American Werewolf yet. The cafes in Europe are something really I wish we were borrowed here in the States. We're getting close. So 9th Avenue in Hell's Kitchen in New York is planning to expand the sidewalk. And that sidewalk expansion might enable cafes like what we see right behind us. So that's kind of cool. So let's see the flavors. double and triple and simple. Okay, so let me see what to get. Oh my god, caramel brulee. What? Pistachio. Wow. Oh my. That's cool. So this is worth it because this is one of the most famous ice creams in all of Paris. It's so famous that the neighbors were complaining and wanted to shut it down because tourists would be here until late night, when usually this island has nothing else going on. It's just mostly just residential. Fila just gave a $10 super chat. Thank you so much. I guess we're going for the triple then, the triple. Thank you so much, Fila. I appreciate that. Wow.
Bonne soirée.
Bonsoir. S'il vous plaît, cup, pistache, caramel brulee, and then do you have hazelnut?
No, we don't. I'm sorry.
No, okay, no worries. I'll have what do you recommend? That's not sorbet, the glass. I'll have a chocolate. Thank you so much. And via card, please. Let me see. Merci beaucoup. Bonne soirée. We go here. Jay says maracuya. They did not have maracuya, passion fruit. No, that they did not have. Alan says you need to speak French because we're in France. Sorry, Alan, I'm not sure if you meant it that way, but yeah, Alan, you know, I'm doing my best, but I do respect the French language. It's a beautiful language, but I only know so much. I'm learning. patience. Ice cream by the river. Yes, ice cream by the river. But no. Unfortunately, no, because it's a bit hard to live stream there. But I'll do it up here. Check this out. Look at that. Smells good. We got 3 scoops. We got pistachio. We got caramel brulee, and we got chocolate. Ooh, that chocolate looks good. They did not have hazelnut, which is a common flavor in most ice cream shops in Paris. Wow. Oh my, that is a punch of chocolate. That is so good. Ooh. That's a good chocolate. It is. Great chocolate. It has a very rich taste to it. That is one of the best chocolate ice creams I tried. Wow. Not too sweet. Not too sweet. Doesn't taste like too much like dark chocolate, but tastes a little bit darker than your typical milk chocolate in New York, or the milk chocolate that you have in Italian gelato. It's a bit darker than that. Bonjour. So yeah, it's very good. We got photo bombers. So yeah, it's really good. Wow. Impeccable. Okay, let's try the other ones. So, let's try some pistachio. And look how creamy this is. Show it to you. You can see the consistency. And you can see, I mean, 68 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's not gonna melt too quickly. But you can see it is holding up very well. Paul Hoffer says they love your camera. Well, we're in the tourist area, so here we have a lot of people from all around Europe and Americans as well, and Canadians. Oh my God. Wow. No wonder this is one of the most popular places in Paris. Cue the music by Jan Tiersen of Amelie. Wow. Cue Francois Hardy. Listen, Francois Hardy. One of the best songs is Le Temps d'amour. Something along those lines. The pistachio has actual pistachio in it, so a few people asked to try one with nuts. This one actually has chunks of pistachio in it. The pistachio itself is so rich. Such a strong pistachio taste. It is really good. It's super creamy, the entire ice cream. And now, caramel brulee. No crack here. Nor Irish, nor the drug, nor the actual crack of a creme brulee. But let's see if it's good. Let's see if it lives up to the creme brulee fame. Yeah, this one's very caramelly. It definitely tastes like you're eating one of those caramel candies. Not my favorite. If you love caramel, this one you'll like, but it tastes too much like a caramel candy. And I don't like caramel candies too much. But the pistachio and the chocolate are just on another level. Joe says, see, I couldn't do what Ariel does. I would have eaten all of that without talking. Wendy says, Ariel's in heaven, by the way. Yeah. All right, everyone. I'm gonna eat 2/3 of this because I don't like the caramel one. So feel free to ask me any questions about Paris, and then we're gonna walk a little bit more around Ile de la Saint Louis. It's not that big. We'll do it in about 10 minutes. It's a pretty quick walk, but it is very romantic. We're gonna take this car over here, right there. I hired a chauffeur to bring us around. Okay, no, I'm joking around. I don't have the budget for a chauffeur yet, but thank you to everyone who supports the show, liking, subscribing, commenting. The more you do that, the bigger production I can offer you, the more chance I can offer you driving the chauffeur through Paris. That'll happen soon. Thank you. And Camilla says, that's nice. Jeannie, thank you so much for the stars. How much was it? 10 euro. 10 euro for this. And definitely in Italy, it's way cheaper to have gelato. And there's gelato as good as this, and there's some gelatos that are even better than this in Italy. They're a quarter of the price. But this is cheaper than you would have in the US. US ice cream prices have gotten pretty expensive. Well, especially in New York, specifically. Hugo says this is expensive, but it's okay. I think it's well worth the price. You're in a very central tourist destination, having really well-made ice cream. I think it's worth the price. Nobu says not cheap for sure. This says help. The world is in danger. The world is indeed in danger, but it has been for most of its history. And it might not be so visible. It might not be so obvious, but to live your best life and to live life with joy and with love and with the best you can offer every moment to everyone, maybe your significant other, your family, your friends, or the people you work with, or in my case, my audience as well. If you can offer your very best, it does way more than trying to fight and resist and protest and scream and yell. It does way more than that. Love, joy, enjoyment goes a very, very long way. So enjoy every single bite of a beautiful French ice cream. And don't complain about the price. I get it. Sometimes budget is tight. I've been there many times where the budget is tight. You can just walk 10 minutes away and have ice cream that's half of the price at least. There's many other cheaper alternatives in any city you visit. It doesn't matter where you go. You can go to Paris and New York. At least the cities I've shown, Paris, New York, Rome, there's cheaper alternatives. And they can be as romantic and as beautiful. What is this? Oh, for sure. We can go to a boulangerie. Well, it's a bit too late for that, but if it were early in the day, we can go to a boulangerie, get ourselves a very nice baguette and a nice pastry for €3. Sit by the river. In Paris, of course, it's expensive, says Nicola. Yes. But if you're drinking an age, you can buy yourself a bottle of wine for €8. You're with someone. Cool thing is you can drink outside. So you can cork that bottle of wine, drink outside, right by the Seine River. There's a lot of cheaper alternatives out there. Jeannie says, enjoy while you're there. Yes. Ada says, thank you so much. My pleasure, Ada. Great question. Susie says, yeah, I stopped arguing politics. And so Japan is open with specific tour groups, says Lawrence. Yeah, I don't like that travel style travel. I'll go to Japan when it opens fully. All right, so I have a little bit of ice cream left. Feel free to ask me anything you would like as I finish off this pistachio. It's so heavenly. Susan says, Champagne, France. Yeah, it's nearby. How long are you staying in Paris? Stay tuned, Thursdays through Saturdays. I would rather spend an extra couple of dollars in Paris than sit at home with the fudgesicle. It says Makrita. Yeah, I mean, dude, if you have the means to travel here, it's worth it, I think. Good words with the music, says Irirus. I'm so glad you think so. It's nice. Let me put the camera here so you can see the guy playing. ¿Te gustan los sabores helado con vinos, Manny? So do you like ice cream with wine? Yo he probado solo un helado que me gusta con vino. Y eso era en... Yo creo que era en Nueva York. I've only tried one ice cream with wine, maybe with red wine. I think it was in New York. That was really good. Pero en general, a mí no me gusta tanto los helados que se hacen con licores. Generalmente no saben tan buenos. So I usually don't like ice cream made with alcohol. To me, it doesn't taste as good. Little Salvo says, Israel is open for tourists. Ooh, I would love to visit the Holy Land. Which arrondissement is your favorite in Paris? That's a good question. Le Marais is, I think, the best place to hang out in. Which I don't know what arrondissement it is. Have you done any shopping while here? Not yet. I've only been to one clothing store. And I asked for my size XL in the US. And I wear size 36 pants in the US that I wear at the waist. Below the natural waist. Which is what most people wear nowadays. And I got into the dressing room. And I already knew. I asked the guy, hey, do you actually have double XL? Because I already knew. I had a feeling. I'm in Europe, especially in France. I couldn't even put the pants through my thigh. And I could, when I put on that shirt, it hugged my body so tightly. It felt like it was about to burst at seams. In that moment, I knew, okay, European sizes are minuscule compared to America. And I'm not that big of a guy. And I still felt like I was humongous going to a trendy Parisian men's clothing store. You can see the guy who attended me. This is so good. Oh my god, this is the best ice cream I've had. The guy who attended me, when I asked him for XL, he looked at me and said, and I was like, do you have double XL? But he was nice. He wanted me to try it out. Wendy says, Ariel, you're a fit guy. Thank you so much, Wendy. Stop. AP says stop the steroids. Less duck, less pistachio. Mmm. Wow. I like this. Another. Mmm. That's so good. Très bien, yeah. Très bien. Ooh, that was so good. Let me take a sip of water and we'll walk around Ile de la Saint-Louis. A very romantic area in Paris. What water do we have now? Let's see. Let's dig in to my water repository. Or suppository. We have Volvic now. Volvic. This one's more common in Europe outside of France. But it is a French water. Kay says, now you know what women have to put up with sizing. Oh yeah. So I have a huge collection of water in here. My bag is bigger on the inside. And this is Volvic. Eau minéral naturel. Mineral water. Let's try it out. Wow. This one tastes like it has less minerals than the Mont Roku. It is a very kind of light water. And it has it's light. It's a very light water, I would say. To me, Volvic is like a step above from Poland Spring. Poland Spring, of course, is a classic water in the US, but it's like a tiny step above. But Mount Roku gets the top, in my opinion. Ron says, okay, you'll be European soon. Wendy says, as a Spanish speaker, is it easier to understand French? Tad, just a tad. Italian is way easier to listen than French is from my ears as a Spanish speaker as well. AEP says it's watery. Yeah, you know, it has quite a watery taste to it as well. BP says, how's the weather? Very good. Oh my God, he's playing Amelie. Yes, I've been waiting for this moment my entire life. Wow. Let's linger, everyone. We're lingering a little bit longer. Okay, we're lingering a little bit longer. See if he has C'est magnifique. if you haven't seen Amelie, check out one of the best films, truly one of the best films that I have ever seen. And there's one particular scene that, as someone who provides entertainment by showing people the cities, there's this beautiful scene in the film, and you can just see the scene if you want to on YouTube. There's clips of it. There's a blind man walking in the neighborhood of Amelie. The main character is this like very eccentric woman who doesn't speak too much, but she really likes pay attention to the lives of people in her neighborhood. And she notices this blind man in the neighborhood kind of just aimlessly wandering around. And one day she's just inspired to grab him by the arm, and in one crazy fast minute, she describes all the beauty that she sees in the street, taking him all throughout the street, saying all the details about the building, the couple kissing on the corner, the guy trying to steal from the shop owner, and all these details about the beautiful, vibrant street. And at the end, she just goes. And he is just in awe. He lights up. Because to him, she provided him vision for one beautiful minute in the street in Paris. Gorgeous film. And that's only one little clip. And the reason I'm so inspired by that is because, to me, that feels like what I do on live video. All right, let's now walk to the Ile de Saint-Louis. Susie says your red convertible on the right. Yep, it's waiting for me. That's how I'm getting back to my Airbnb. Look at this charming little restaurant. Well, there's some really charming restaurants here. Stefan says, Amelie's one of my favorite films. It gives me chills to hear this song in Paris right now. Yeah, exactly. Joe says, I'm calling Netflix right now. I want Ariel's Paris Netflix show to start. That would be awesome, Joe. An American in Paris. Mark says, my wife bought home some croissants in honor of Ariel's trip. Oh, I'm so glad. That's awesome. That's really cool. Susie, nice to see you on YouTube as well. Oh, that's a Tesla. Very quiet car. Wow, beautiful little restaurants here. I didn't know that this had a food scene in this little island. Neilbu says, I was about to watch that movie again. I think I didn't give it the attention it deserves. Yeah, I mean, it's easy to dismiss that movie as some quirky little film, but it has a lot of heart to it. Amelie is the Paddington of Paris. Natalie says, I just came back from physiotherapy, and a goal of mine is to be able to walk again in Paris. Thank you for your lives that you bring to us. My pleasure. It's stories like yours is what inspires me so much of that scene in Amelie. I wonder how I must have felt coming back here in the 1920s, you know, just like Midnight in Paris. MZ says, is this your first time in Paris? No. So people ask what's a typical hat in Paris? Not the one with the brim, but the other one that the gentleman in white is wearing. That's a very typical men's hat in Paris. Some cool hotels here too. Wow. Some awesome hotels. If you have the budget, this would be a great place to stay. Oh, look at that. Photos from New York says, Midnight in Paris reminded me of a lot of Visible Feast. Yeah. I didn't realize, is this Ile de Saint Louis? Because I didn't realize it was so big. It's actually much bigger than I thought. Do confirm with me, because I've already said it a few times. I'm under the impression that I am on Ile de Saint Louis. Neil says it's always a question of budget. Yeah. AAP says, have you bumped into Owen Wilson yet? No, not yet. Well, that would be really cool if I do. If I see Owen Wilson, all I would just like, the only words that would come into my mind and that would just utter from my mouth is, wow. Oh, wow. That's the only words. Wow. Someone earlier asked, how does it feel to walk at night? Do you feel safe? In this area, yes. There's only a few areas. I went to an area that was close to a arch that was not the Arch de Triomphe. It was another arch, I think a little bit older. And that area seemed a lot rougher. I would not walk there late at night unless if I were with friends drinking. And then there's other areas I would not walk around too much. There's places in Seine the 20th arrondissement. There's places there that didn't seem too friendly. But in general, I feel very chill walking around Paris. Especially in this center area, it's really chill. There's a lot of people walking here. Oh, marionettes. Look at that. There's a marionette store. So where is the corner that the character from Midnight in Paris sits down and travels back in time? If anyone knows, in the comments, do let me know. We'll find that corner and we'll do a broadcast from the 1920s. Isabel says yes. So 1920s broadcast. Let me know who wants to time travel back into the 1920s. I'm sure Hemingway will be down to join the live video. Isabel says Dali. Yeah, it would be cool to hang out with Dali. See his mustache in person. Jeannie says, have you adjusted to time? Because the sun sets so late. And I have, coming from New York. Yeah, I end up sleeping at like at 1 a.m. anyway, 2 a.m. So I've been sleeping very late. Oh, look at this, a Michelin star restaurant. Le Fou de l'Île. Oh. What does fou mean? L'Île means the island. It's so gorgeous, look at that. Let's see the prices. Wow. For a Michelin star restaurant, this is a good price. Between $20 and $27 for the plates. Wow, that is a very good price. Why is it so inexpensive? Foos means crazy, the crazies of the island. Oh, interesting, I like that. Let's go down there. MK says, thanks for sharing. Any ghosts? You have to watch James and Carla's touring the oldest city in New York. Yeah, I've done a video of that. I'm glad they did as well. But yes, I did a live video of the Merchant's house in New York before and talked about its haunted history. But any ghosts in Paris? I'm going to do research on haunted history. I have not bumped into too much haunted history yet. But I'm sure there are some ghost stories here in Paris. This reminds me of the scene actually from the Roman holiday, which actually happened last year. Last year we randomly went in Rome. We randomly went into a jazz club on a boat in the Tiber River. And there's a scene in Roman Holiday where Gregory Peck's character takes Audrey Hepburn's character to a random bar that's playing music and dancing on the boat on the Tiber. But of course we're in the Seine. AAP says, you're humming. Has Paris gotten under your skin? I mean, that song of Amelie is going to be stuck in my head. Look at the beautiful golden reflections on the Seine. Ron says, in the wise words of Larry David, this stream is pretty good. Yeah, it is pretty good. Okay, so the way to get down is by jumping. All right, who's ready? Photos from New York says Paris equals Edith Piaf for me. Yeah, Edith Piaf is amazing as well. Oh yeah. Deanne says, I'll hold the camera. Go for it. We're doing parkour. There's another great Paris movie that a lot of people won't see. I mean, that a lot of people probably haven't seen. But it's not your typical romantic Paris. It is a post-apocalyptic, dystopic Paris where two guys escape from a quarantine District 13, 13th arrondissement, using parkour. It is an awesome movie. District 13. Wait, am I getting the name wrong? District B13. District B13. Because District 13 is, I think, the sci-fi film. And here we go. Here's the party in Paris, right by the Seine. This is so cool. This is what we need in the East River in New York. New York has to draw way more inspiration for Paris. We have to put this all around Williamsburg. Williamsburg, the nightlife is not concentrated enough around the waterfront. All right, I gotta mute for a little bit. Okay, there's some popular music. So glad to see Paris is coming back, says Lucy. Javier says we have to lose cars in Brooklyn. Yep, a lot more streets have to be pedestrianized. Or there has to be like congestion pricing to prevent too many cars for driving in the middle of the most dense areas of Manhattan and Brooklyn. Wow. I wonder if they're playing rap. Yeah, they were playing some French rap. It sounded like ooh, you see that light? Don't worry, that's not a UFO. That is the Eiffel Tower. Pretty Funny says it's pretty funny to listen to synth in Paris. But pretty funny. We are in the city of Daft Punk, Justice, and many other great French electronic music bands out there. There's so many great ones. The 12s is another great French-based disco band. There's so many. French disco has inspired music way more than it gets credit for. Daft Punk is not the only band. So yeah, it's very important. So it does fit. It's just a lot of people don't associate electronic disco music with Paris. people associate more, you know, Amelie and Edith Piaf and those ones. But Daft Punk to me is as Paris as Edith Piaf. One more time, Notre Dame there in the distance. We have the Seine right over here. And this is the beautiful Paris here, right at the bridge between Ile de Saint Louis and the rest of Paris proper. There's a lot of parties going on, cool, a lot of nightlife here. You can drink, which is the awesome thing about Paris. So feel free, bring yourself a cup of wine, picnic down there. Not a cup of wine, a bottle of wine. Picnic down there. Bring yourself some Aperol, some sparkling San Pellegrino, Pierre, I mean, and then make yourself some Aperol Spritz on the go and enjoy the night. MK says, where do French people go to enjoy the night? Right here, along the Seine. And there's a whole host of brasseries, restaurants, bistros that are open until pretty late night. New York nightlife goes until 4 a.m. I don't think the majority of nightlife here goes too late. I think it's about 2 a.m. Similar to the UK. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this Paris by evening walk. We had some of the best ice cream in my opinion, Berthelian, and we saw Notre Dame and night shining. And hopefully it'll open up again so we can all visit the beauty of Notre Dame. And the Seine is a great place to hang out at night. I do recommend it. You can either be solo, and if you know French, you'll easily mingle. If you don't know French, then there's probably foreigners down there. There's probably a lot of people who know English down there. Or it's a great place to hang out with a few friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. Keep being awesome, and always keep on exploring. See you Thursdays through Saturdays at 3 p.m. Western European time, 9 a.m. New York City time. Au revoir, mes amis. Bonne soirée.